General Hospital spoilers for Thursday, April 30th tease that. I need to say this carefully because what I am hearing does not feel like a normal Port Charles twist. It feels like a setup. It seems like everyone is watching the wrong person, chasing the wrong secret, and reacting to the wrong danger. I do not think Rocco Falconeri is holding the answer everyone thinks he is holding. I think the real shock may be that Rocco does not remember a face at all. He may not remember the shooter. He may not remember the exact moment everything went wrong, but he may remember something stranger, something smaller, and possibly much more dangerous. A symbol, a voice, a smell. And if that is true, this means the entire mystery may not be about who pulled the trigger. It may be about who was in the hospital before, during, or after the attack, leaving behind one detail that only a frightened child would notice. No one expected that kind of clue to matter. But in Port Charles, the smallest detail usually becomes the thing that blows the whole cover story apart. Right now, I believe Lulu Spencer is being pushed into a trap that has been dressed up as protection. It seems like everyone wants her to focus on getting Rocco away, keeping him quiet, keeping him safe, keeping him calm. But I think that urgency is suspicious. When too many people want the same child removed from the same town at the same time, I start asking who benefits from the silence. Lulu may be emotional, but I do not think she is blind. I think she can feel that something is off. The fear around Rocco does not feel natural anymore. It feels managed. It feels directed. It feels like someone is trying to control what he remembers before he even understands it himself. And that brings me to the man wearing Nathan West's face. I do not think his panic is only about Rocco exposing him. That would be too simple. I think he may be afraid that Rocco remembers something connected to a larger operation, something that points beyond one fake identity. Maybe Rocco heard a phrase that should not mean anything to a child. Maybe he smelled a certain chemical in a hallway. Maybe he saw a mark on a medical badge, a cufflink, a file folder, or even a coded symbol near Drew Kane's room. Could it be that Rocco is not a witness to one crime, but a witness to the movement of a much bigger plan? That is where I think the Drew situation becomes much darker. Everyone is focused on Drew as if he is helpless, trapped, unable to defend himself, and maybe part of that is true. But I am starting to wonder whether Drew may have done something before losing control of his body and voice. It seems like he may have planted a false trail on purpose, not because he wanted to confuse his loved ones, but because he knew someone would come looking for the truth. I believe Drew may have realized he was being watched. If he knew he could not leave a direct warning, he may have left behind something that looked like a mistake, a medical inconsistency, a strange note in a chart, a communication attempt that appears broken but is actually deliberate. This means Willow Kane may not be reacting only out of guilt. She may be reacting because she has started to understand that Drew's silence is not empty. His silence may be loaded with evidence. And Willow, I think, is being used. That is the part that feels like an insider leak more than a normal spoiler. I do not think Willow is the mastermind here. I think she may be the bait. Brennan may be using her emotional chaos to draw out whoever is really controlling the board. It seems like Willow believes she is protecting herself, maybe even protecting Drew in some twisted way, but she may actually be walking exactly where Brennan wants her to walk. Jack Brennan does not strike me as someone who wastes movement. If he approaches Nina Reeves, if he mentions Willow, if he lets certain information slip, I do not think it is accidental. I think he may be planting pressure points. I think he wants Nina nervous. I think he wants Willow isolated. I think he wants Michael watching. And I think he wants someone hidden in the shadows to believe Willow is about to break. Could it be that Brennan is not trying to save Willow or destroy her, but use her as a signal flare? I keep coming back to that possibility because it explains why everything feels so messy on the surface and so controlled underneath. Willow panics. Nina reacts. Michael calculates. Carly interferes. Jocelyn investigates. Elizabeth notices a medical irregularity. Britt catches a clue. Lulu protects Rocco. And all of these movements may be pushing one unseen person to make a mistake. The question is whether Brennan is hunting the fake Nathan, or whether he is hunting someone even worse. I think Nina may become the emotional weak spot in Brennan's game. She wants to protect Willow, but she also wants to know the truth. That conflict makes her vulnerable. If Brennan gives Nina just enough information to scare her, she may start digging in places she should avoid. And if Nina finds out Willow has been moved around like a pawn, her anger could become unpredictable. I do not think Nina will stay passive. It seems like she may start believing that someone has been feeding Willow fear on purpose. And once Nina sees her daughter being used, she may make a choice that ruins Brennan's timing. That could be exactly what the real villain is waiting for. Meanwhile, I think Michael Corinthos may realize that confronting Willow directly will not work. I believe he may shift into a colder strategy. He may let Willow think she still has control. He may let her make calls, visit Drew, explain herself, and repeat the same careful version of events until one detail changes. That is the kind of trap Michael could set without raising his voice. And if Chase becomes involved, I do not think it will be because of old feelings. I think Chase may be useful because he knows how to read fear without mistaking it for innocence. Willow may not crumble because someone accuses her. She may crumble because someone stays quiet long enough for her to fill the silence. Elizabeth Baldwin could be the person who turns the whole Drew mystery sideways. I think Liz may find something that does not look dramatic at first. Maybe a medication log that was corrected too neatly. Maybe a missing transfer note. Maybe a device requested for Drew that arrives already altered. It may seem small, but small details in a hospital are never small when someone is trying to hide a medical crime. I also think Britt Westbourne may notice something no one else would take seriously. Not a confession, not a witness statement, something physical. A scent connected to a sedative. A residue on Rocco's clothing, a reaction he has when passing a certain room. It seems like Britt may connect Rocco's fear to the hospital environment itself, not to one single person. That changes the entire direction of the story. If Rocco is afraid because of a smell or sound, then whoever triggered that fear may not even know he noticed it. The person behind this may believe they are safe because Rocco cannot identify a face. But what if he can identify a pattern? What if he remembers the sound of a cartwheel, a coded alert tone, the cold scent of a paralytic drug, or a symbol stamped on a file? I think that is the kind of clue the fake Nathan would fear most, because it cannot be threatened the same way a witness can. A memory like that hides inside a child until something brings it back. And I believe Lulu may be the one who triggers it without meaning to. She may try to comfort Rocco. She may ask gentle questions. She may walk him through the hospital. And then something ordinary may suddenly make him freeze. A hallway light. A cleaning chemical. A badge color. A phrase from someone passing by. No one expected the truth to return that way. Carly Spencer's role may be more dangerous than she realizes. I do not think Carly is the villain of this particular mess, but I think she may be protecting the wrong person or blocking the wrong investigation. If Jocelyn Jacks starts asking questions, Carly may treat it like rebellion when it is actually instinct. Jocelyn may sense that her mother is too close to Brennan, too close to a secret, or too willing to accept an explanation that does not hold together. I think Jocelyn could become the wild card because she is not tied to the official investigation. She can move emotionally, impulsively, and quietly. That makes her risky, but it also makes her useful. If Lucas gives her a warning or points her toward a contradiction, Jocelyn may start pulling at a thread Carly wanted left alone. And if Jocelyn discovers that Brennan has been using Willow as bait, she may not care about his larger plan. She may only see that people around her family are being sacrificed for strategy. Curtis Ashford and Laura Collins may be the ones who understand the civic danger of this mystery. I think Curtis may notice that the Drew situation, the hospital irregularities, and Brennan's movements are connected by timing. Laura may not have proof. But she knows Port Charles well enough to recognize a cover-up when people start acting too reasonable. That is what makes this whole thing feel explosive. The lies are not loud yet. They are calm. They are organized. They are being spoken by people who sound helpful. And that is usually when the truth is closest to the surface. So here is what I think may happen next. I think Brennan will continue pushing Willow without letting her know she is bait. I think Drew's so-called helplessness may hide one final clue he planted before the trap closed around him. I think Rocco will not name a shooter, but he may remember a detail that points to the person behind the hospital cover-up. I think Britt and Elizabeth may each hold half of the medical truth. I think Lulu will refuse to let fear decide her son's future. And, I think Michael may let Willow expose the people using her before he makes his move. But the most dangerous possibility is this. What if the fake Nathan is not trying to silence Rocco because Rocco saw him? What if he is terrified because Rocco remembers something that connects him to Brennan's operation, Drew's condition, and a secret inside General Hospital itself? The truth may be about to come out. But if Rocco's memory returns in pieces, who will understand it first? Lulu, Britt, Brennan, or the person who needs that child silenced before one small clue destroys everything?